Hello, and welcome back to another video talking about things and stuff that I like, which apparently this week is going to be FNAF. Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, because apparently this is the year of FNAF. Like, uh, like I knew there was gonna be like updates, in the stuff of like it's like, oh yeah, new stuff is gonna be out. I didn't think it was all gonna happen within this year. That that is that. Let's go. I feel like I feel like last year was the year of the hedgehog and now it's the year of the ironically enough it is technically the year of the rabbit. So it goes with with the FNAF motif. The year of the rabbit would be the year of FNAF as well. So I'm super excited for Ruin to come out. Um, in fact, I asked for FNAF for my birthday present. I mean, I technically have it on PC. In fact, I have live streams of me playing the original game. But my computer has been kind of not on the fritz. It's more of it just can't play powerful games right now. And I just decided that until I graduate college, I will not have the money or the time to fix that particular issue. For some reason, everything else works fine on my computer. Like, besides trying to play, like, powerful games, it runs perfectly fine. It works functionally as an office computer, not yet as a gaming PC, and I'll just have to wait until then. But that's also why I haven't been live streaming because I haven't been able to like play proper games. I've been too nervous to try and play proper games on my stream because I don't know what games are gonna crash and what games are not. So, um, so I probably won't be doing gaming live streams until I graduate at this point. So in case anybody was interested in that. And so anyway, so I'll be getting Ruin um on the Switch and I'll be playing that, and I'll make a video about it, talking about it, once it's all said and done. So, but I am excited for it. I hope, like, it feels like I hope no one gets the wrong idea because it's one of those things like we have to remember it is a DLC. It's not a full game. It might be super short. In fact, it might be like regular FNAF game short, because like most like the original FNAF games were actually pretty short, and I feel like we are going to get. It's not going to be. I mean, I'd be shocked if it's anywhere near the length of the original Security Breach game. So I am very interested in that. But with the short amount of time that they have, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a pretty short game. But that might help with the polish, though. I feel like if they it's one of those things. I mean, there's a lot of issues with the original game, and so I do wonder if especially when they had to gut so much of the original story, and even then that was still like not enough to like fix a lot of the issues. In fact, probably gutting it, probably depending how much they gutted out of the original story, trying to gut all that out and also trying to recode it after that probably was, if not the main issue, one of the main issues of a lot of the glitches that happen in the game. Um, so I like everything looks great. It looks everything like it does definitely feel like a second act kind of thing. So and it does seem to look like the fight with Burn Trap is the canon ending. If they're going by the fact that the Pizzaplex has been, destroyed because of the events of that ending in particular. So I'm hoping. I mean, I guess at least you count the one on the roof. Also, technically, the Pizzaplex burned down with that ending too. That'd be an interesting perspective if that's actually the canon ending too. That's also a possibility, but I highly doubt it. It's probably the ending with Burn Trap. Um, oh, but like I do I do like that last shot of like that glitch. Definitely like a new rendition of Glitch Trap at the end there. I'm really interested in what that is. Um Especially since, like, if you think about it, like the whole Vanny issue is never settled with. If the glitch trap ending is not glitch trap, I mean the burn trap ending is the canon one, that also implies that the whole Vanny situation is not resolved in this timeline. So that could mean that we're getting like a berserk version of Vanny and we're getting like a like genuine boss fight with her. I hope that's the case, and if so, let's freaking go. Like, let's freaking go with this. That'd be amazing. Because I feel like one of the gutted out plot points is that we might have had like a maybe not a full boss fight with Vanny, but we had like some kind of um like interaction in one of the endings, the one that you could get Freddy killed on when you confront Vanny. Um, and depending on if you get all the Princess Quest arcade games, changes that ending. And I feel like there was a lot more than that, a lot more to that before they gutted out a lot of Vanny's story. And like I said, because of the fact that they gutted out mostly Vanny's stuff, surprisingly, like, and they made it very clear that the Vanny was supposed to have a lot more impact on the game, originally. So I'm hoping that this DLC is supposed to kind of like implement all those issues in, at least if not all of them, most of them. Um, so I'm hoping that that helps a lot when it comes to huge fans of Vanny. Like a lot of people will be very happy with the with the with this if my assumptions are correct of that last shot of the trailer. Um, Crossing fingers, we get like some kind of berserker Vanny thing. Maybe a mix of Vanny and Glitch Trap together, like they're kind of like one entity in like the final phase of the game. I hope so. I hope it's something like that. That'd be super cool. Um, and I've been trying to catch up on the books. I don't think I'll be able to catch up with the books in time for Ruined. Uh, so I might miss out on some of the uh, early revelations of what's happening. So I might have to go with like basic video game FNAF fans that the reveal will probably happen near the end more so than me like slowly picking things apart, if that ends up being the case. Um, because I've heard a lot of whispers about a lot of development that's been happening in the books, and I've been trying to get back into them. Um, to be fair, it's like it's not like the books themselves. I've just been trying to get back into like my audiobooks in general. So uh, now that I've been actually getting back into it, I hope, if not finish all the books that are out right now, at least get close enough to get where early revelations I might start popping up. But the biggest thing I hope for is that, because with me, I'm one of those people that genuinely liked Security Breach. Maybe I was one of the few that had the least amount of glitches while playing the game. Um, because I've seen some really bad glitches from other people playing the game, and I'm just sitting here going like, I genuinely have proof of me playing the game. My first round, I actually didn't run into any issues, except maybe one tiny glitch, like Gregory's like flashlight being a little glitchy, but that was an easy fix once I reloaded the file. But other than that, it wasn't until like the second playthrough is when I realized there was a bunch of backtracking glitches. That's the ones that I ran into, and that was like the only time I ran into like a huge glitch was with the second playthrough. First playthrough, pretty clean, surprisingly, on my end. So I had a good experience, and I feel like everybody's had that with this security breach. Is that you either had a pretty clean, a relatively clean run your first time around, or your was a super glitchy mess. And I am so sorry. That sucks if that's the case for you guys. If that ended up being the case. Um, But and I'm hoping that a lot of the patches really helped out with anybody that like. I know some people so like if it's not good in the first round, I'll never touch it. I was like I guess that's valid. It's like it's one of those things like I guess so. Like I don't know. It's one of those things. It's and I hope we're getting like I remember a long time ago when FNAF World came out. When FNAF World came out, I remember people hating it. Um, maybe not to the extent that people didn't like Security Breach. Um, no, maybe even more so. Like it's hard to say because even like hardcore fans didn't really like the game. Because the problem with FNAF World is that um, it came across as just like a little silly thing. And of course, FNAF fans want they want to be engaged in the story and whatnot, even if they're not really interested in the gameplay. They want to be engaged with story, and they thought FNAF World was just all like, like I don't really want to play it or get involved with it because it looks like a big nothing burger when it comes to story narrative wise, which I was okay with me too. Like I was just like, well, not every FNAF game needs to have heavy lore in it, which is ironic considering that it ended up having heavy FNAF world, heavy FNAF lore in it over time. Even in its original run before the updates, it actually did have a lot of more lore than I was expecting. Um, but I was even one of those people because I know people like Scott realized people had a lot of people had like they were disappointed in the FNAF world, and he was like, "Oh, okay. Uh, like if you want, I could refund you your $5." I was like, "That, wow." Like even AAA games wouldn't like refund you for like their titles in most cases without like heavy reason. But it's just like even if it's super broken, um, or at least it'd be like pulling teeth in some cases. But the point, especially if you bought physical copies. But like the point is that I was one of those people that even though he suggested refunding, I was like, no, you can't. Like if Scott came to my house and said, "Here, it's okay, I'll get back your $5," I would genuinely hiss at him, like, no, keep the goddamn $5, because I genuinely liked FNAF World. I knew going into it was gonna be silly, so I didn't take it too seriously. And I was just surprised by the gameplay in and of itself because I actually did play Desolate Hope uh, before I played FNAF World. So I knew that I was like, oh, I know what this gameplay style is. I know what this is. It was kind of funny because then after he refunded a lot of people, and then the updates started coming in, and that was basically FNAF World's DLC. Like they called them updates, but it was basically FNAF World DLC, and it fixed a lot of even the harshest critic of the series at the time. They were like, yeah, it's a dumb game, but like he refunded the people that didn't like it. They thought, well, didn't think it deserved even to be $5, which I was like, there's still a lot of work put into it. It's not that like that game was like that game had even less glitches than Security Breach did. Like, but he was still willing to refund the $5. And but then people were just like, then good praise started rolling in once the updates started happening. And it felt like just a big advertisement for Sister Location, especially the last two updates, I believe, were very big indicators that they were uh, sh- advertising for Sister Location. So yeah, I hope this is a very like I know it's not exactly comparing apples to apples, but it does have a similar vibe to it. And I know, like, it's one of those things I still have to wrap my brain around. It's like, this is not 100% Scott in charge of, like, the wheel. in this case. Like he's still in the process of gradually letting it be in charge with other people. So like it's still a very bumpy transition at this point. Um, so if anything, I'm just like, Steel Will, please, come on. You could do, you did VR, which everybody liked that. You could do better. That's one of the reasons why I haven't completely just went like, oh, Steel Wheel, why? Why'd you pick Steel Wheel? It's like, well, they did VR, like Help Wanted. That was good. Um, so I hope that this DLC kind of mends a lot of people's frustration with Steel Wool, and maybe reconsider not being so harsh. Maybe I don't know. People could still be angry. I don't care. Like I said, I still liked Security Breach for what it is, even if I feel like, yeah, like there was a lot of things gutted. There was still a lot of things missing. It probably didn't help that this was the longest we've ever had to wait for a FNAF game. Um, a lot of us have been spoiled with, getting games so frequently with Scott. Scott spoiled us in that fact. Um, and this was the longest. This was probably the longest FNAF game too. Like even with the story gutted out, lengthwise, it was the big. It's still the biggest FNAF game in scope that was ever released. I think even still more than Help Wanted. I'll have to double check that. Like it's like a mixture of like either Help Wanted at the time was the longest, and I think Security Breach is just slightly longer, even with the story being gutted. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I hope good things to come from this point on. Um, and I hope uh, it sounds like Steel Wool took the criticism by heart, even the most harshest criticism. I mean, they already did with their one of their big updates with the whole saving spot situation at the basically the end half of the game. When they I knew I got a lot of trust back with them when they did that. So I'm just taking my time with them a little bit. But it's one of those things where I don't know if I don't know if I'll be super harsh by the time if things go bad with the DLC. I don't know. Um, it's one of those things where it's just like it depends. It all depends. I just hope for good things. Um, and I think that's all I wanted to say. Like, there's so much stuff that happened. I feel like I talked more about like other things than more so than Ruined itself. Um, I guess I'll say is that everything looks amazing. Like it definitely like, cause like I think Security Breach had a hard time balancing its like mascot mascot with its horror aspect to it. That's why everybody keeps doing the whole like mascot horror like um what's the word I'm looking for? Mascot horror description of a lot of horror games lately. Of course, FNAF kind of was the pioneer? No, that's not exactly correct. I feel like there's been some mascot-ish horror even before FNAF. It's just FNAF kind of we have what's the word I'm looking for? Popularized it? Nah, that's probably a word I'm looking for. I think FNAF kind of popularized the idea of mascot horror, which I personally like. I personally like the mascot horror aesthetic. I know that a lot of other people are kind of tired of it, but I'm just how like sucks to be you. Like like I'm having fun over here. But yeah, it's how do I describe it? It's like I think I'm losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, like the mascot horror aspect. Like since the whole point of the story is that the branding is like the FNAF brand has revamped itself, right? It like rebooted itself basically because some kind of company slash entity has bought it. So it actually has to look like a place that people go to recently, unlike the other FNAF stuff where it was already old, vacant stuff. Um, it was already old and vacant for a long period of time. So we're trying to work with something that's technically new, but there's kind of like this unsettling uh, underside to it, which is really hard to do, especially nowadays because everything looks. Um, no, that's not the word. It's more of just like I think it had a hard time just like trying to get to the creepy, like and of course it's a much longer game, but it felt like it took a little too long to get too creepy. Or get too scary looking. Like it was creepy, but it took a little too long to get too scary. And I feel like the DLC is just when you just since the setting of where it takes place is so much easier in comparison that it could just go straight too scary. Everything's broken, everything's worn down. Who knows how long it's been worn down, but it is, and we just get to it, which it helps considering that not only Security Breach had a hard time getting to that point, but also since it is DLC, it might not be as long as the original game, so it helps with the setting that they could just go straight into it without any problems. So I appreciate it for that. And like I said, I feel like this is definitely it definitely fits the third act uh, kind of feeling, and I'm already loving it. I'm already loving it. So here's hoping for Ruin. And like I said, I'll make a video after I play the game. Hopefully, unfortunately, I won't be able to live stream it. But I will give my thoughts about it when I am done. So that is my thoughts on the Ruin trailer. Um, I'll talk about something else next video, and then I will talk about after that video the other FNAF update that just came out. I was like, my goodness, there's so much. But yeah, so I'll be back to that soon to talk about the very latest update um, of FNAF news, and I will talk to you later. I hope this. I feel a little more rambly in this video than most other videos, so hopefully I didn't ramble for too long. I just have a lot of uh, extent feeling over the whole Ruin update. So hope everybody liked that. So I will talk to you later, guys. Good morning and good night.